This is James Hendricks with the Black Sheep Reports. Today I want to talk about the Republican Democratic establishment and how they're exactly the same. I hear it all the time. Hey James, I'm voting for Hillary Clinton. Or hey James, I'm voting for Donald Trump. Like it actually matters. For you sheeple out there, I'll use a Star Wars reference. That'd be like saying, hey, I'm voting for Darth Vader. Or hey, I'm voting for Kylo Ren. Doesn't matter. The dark side's gonna win. Both the Republican Democratic parties both have the exact same policies. I'm going to be giving you 7 reasons how the Republican Democratic parties are the exact same. Both parties support endless war. It's been more than a decade since the invasion of Afghanistan and Iraq, and Americans' entanglement is far from over. Although Bush is always known as the war hawk, and Obama is known as the Nobel Peace Prize winner, but Obama has used his time in office to start wars in Pakistan, Libya, Yemen, and even Somalia. And of course, let's not forget Syria. My generation can barely remember peace. And there's no end in sight for a foreign policy with devastating human and financial cost. Number 2, both parties engage in out of control spending. Yes, the deficit spending has increased under Barack Obama. But you know what? There was also massive acceleration under Bush. The fact is, debt is a bipartisan problem, and neither party is innocent. With $17 trillion of debt and rapidly counting, as a consequence of decades of bipartisan irresponsibilities, the time has passed for pointing fingers and dubbing a slightly slower rate of spending growth as a historical cut. Number 3, both parties ignore our basic rights. CNN once reported, when can a government kill its own people? Number 4, both have no respect for the rule of law. Obama swept into office promising a new attention to the rule of law after years of correct complaints that Bush often ignored it. He said, I take the Constitution very seriously. He maintained to a nation weary for lawfulness. Bush and his GOP Congress were rightly criticized for rampantly flaunting the Constitution, especially the 4th and 5th Amendment, which is a right to privacy and fair trial. But Gitmo remains open. The NDAA makes indefinite detention a possibility for any American. The list of the NSA abuses reach absurd proportions. Obama's campaign promises is overdue for a death certificate. Number 5, both are bought and paid for by big business. You know what the best original idea in politics are today? Making politicians wear suits like NASCAR drivers with a display their biggest corporate sponsors, Democrats and Republicans alike, would be plastered with logos. So is it any wonder that many of the same businesses get massive favors from our government at taxpayers' expense? DC spends upward to $100 billion on corporate welfare annually, not to mention a huge one-off bailouts. Number 6, both care most about their own power. President Obama joked once that the good thing about being president, I could do whatever I want. And while he was just kidding around, his humor was in line with, bipartisan presidential mindset. In the recent State of the Union address, The president announced his intention to continue expanding the power of the exclusive at Congress expense. Republicans are really dully upset that this power grab, but historically GOP presidents have actually slightly more executive orders than the Democrats have. Number 7. Both have long records of expanding government and shrinking liberty. Finally, take a look at the big picture. Our government is reading our emails and monitoring our calls. It gropes us at the airport, wants to keep track of our cars and planes to subject us to random security sweeps at concerts and train stations. We can't decide for ourselves what to consume, whether to buy insurance or who to marry. All our income until mid-April goes directly to the government. America has the highest incarceration rate in the world, and minorities are subject to unfair, disproportionate punishment. Is this really the land of the free? So on election day, I'm going to stay home. I really don't care if you're voting for Hillary or if you're voting for Donald Trump, because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. They're all bought out, whether that be bought out by Israel or bought out by Saudi Arabia or bought out by, Shell or DuPont or whatever it may be. It doesn't matter who you vote for, Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. This has been James with the Black Sheep Report. Subscribe if you're new. The links are below. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook. Our page is Media on 9/11. Peace.